Hi and welcome to Dr. Mix. I get a lot of questions about what synthesizer should I buy, what is a good synthesizer for a beginner. Let me tell you, this video is just for you. This is what you've been waiting for. Also, this video is kindly sponsored by Skillshare, the online learning community where you can feed your creative soul. That's right. But I'm going to talk about that later. Right now, let's begin with the first synthesizer, the Yamaha Reface CS. The Yamaha Reface CS is one of those great little synthesizers because it's inexpensive. It's in the range of £260, something like $350, maybe something like that. And it's small, it's portable, it's got speakers, but most importantly, it allows you to learn how these controls work. In actual fact, they're quite easy to understand if you understand the principles, and this is one of those synthesizers which gets that point across really, really well. It sounds really, really good, and it's very simple to use. So here you got your octave control. This is volume, pitch band. This is a looper function that you can use to You can have lots of fun with this one, but the core of it is its oscillators. You begin with a very simple sawtooth, which sounds like this. But check out the quality of it, because if I go really low, so this synth has very good sounding oscillators to begin with. Square wave. So you got loads of controls. The good thing is that it's so simple that you cannot do without learning. You learn about resonance, low resonance, high resonance. Sorry for your speakers. ADSR. These are the fundamentals of analog synthesis. This is a virtual analog, but it's one of those virtual synthesizers that sounds really, really nice. Check out. Plenty of polyphony, as you can hear, and it's got even effects. Phaser. This is a very simple and basic synthesizer, but it sounds really good. I used it on Super People, my Sunlight Square track. I will leave a link in the description. So in my opinion, this is a very good starting point for people who want to learn, but also for people who want to record, really, really substantial synthesizer lines. And as I said, I'm very happy to put this on the records because I just love it. Let me go to the next synthesizer. Now, this is the Arturia Microfreak, which is a different beast altogether. Firstly, it doesn't have normal keys. It's got this sort of sensitive pads. I don't even know what to call them. What is very cool about the synthesizer is that it's still, very affordable, but you can be really, really creative with this. It's a hybrid synthesizer, so it has digital wavetables, but also it has some, analog filtering and circuitry. So check out what you can do. So as you can hear, this is very, very creative, and I find it really interesting for sound design. It's a little bit more advanced in terms of programming, but it's got a lot of controls. And it really helps if you already know about synthesizers. But it's a very easy entry point to start messing about with sounds and just have a lot of fun whilst learning. Again, great synthesizer for beginners who want to learn, great for professionals who want to have something quirky and interesting and freaky. Next! We're now going for a slightly more expensive. We are around the £400, $500 something dollars mark, and it's the another Arturia Minibrute 2. Now, this is a fully analog synthesizer, and it sounds a little bit like this. Right? At this point, we're talking about like a synthesizer that has inputs and outputs to really play with CV gate, with MIDI, to play with control voltage. Here we're getting to the more complicated side of analog synthesis, which involves electronics. When you get something like this, if you're a beginner, then you get to learn also, the principles behind how electricity evolves when controlling analog sounds. When you have a synthesizer like this, you can probably communicate with other synthesizers, and you can really experiment and get into that nerdy, hardcore synthesizer enthusiasts. But having said that, I have been very happy to use this specific unit on a lot of records. I like the quality of the oscillators on this one. Check out. And also you can mix the waveforms. You got sawtooth here, square wave, triangle here, noise here. And you don't need to patch in anything unless you want to. So you can get sounds straight out of it, very simple way, but you can dig very deep if you want to. Of course, it helps if you know how to play the piano. You don't know how to play the piano? Well, Skillshare is for you! Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come to learn and empower their creative minds. With thousands of inspiring classes on topics including illustration, graphic design, video, and music. Skillshare is a great place to explore your creativity. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. I recently enjoyed Learn Piano in 30 Days by fellow YouTuber Mark De Heidi, aka PGN Piano. He's a very, very good man, and he teaches you things in a way that is very easy, very entertaining, and very informative. He's very good. I suggest you check that out. But most importantly, the first 1,000 people who click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. And remember, when you subscribe to Skillshare, you support this channel. Thank you. Next is a bigger synthesizer. Ah yeah. Now this is the Roland Jupiter XM, which is quite a bit more expensive than what we've seen so far. This is around the £1,200 mark, which is what, $1,500? Not too sure. Something around that. You can Google it anyway. Of course, it's got a synth engine that is a lot more powerful, so it can imitate the classic Roland sounds like the Jupiters, the Junos, but also drums and, you know, the RD series. Just check it out. Right? I'll go through some sounds just, you know, for fun. Yeah? Let's see, what have we got here? Ooh. All right, yeah, it also has arpeggiators, and it has an intelligent arpeggiator, which, depending on what you play, will, you know, go with you. It's artificial intelligence driven. See? Right. Oh, all right. Let me go through some of the JX sounds, maybe. Let's see. Roland JX. Let's see if we can get some XV here. Oof. The Jupiter XM also has some bread and butter sounds like pianos, basses, you know, acoustic stuff. So of course it's very expandable. You know, this is professional synthesizer for real. Yep. And what's also cool about this unit is that it has internal speakers, it's got batteries, so you can take it with you and be creative. I think it works also as an interface. It's got MIDI in and out, it's got balanced outputs and also balanced inputs. It does vocoding. You get what you pay for, right? It's Roland. Next! At a similar price range between £1,000 and £1,300, depending on how many keys, how big you want the keyboard to be, you get the Yamaha Modi X. Now, I like the Modi X a lot, and I have been taking it with me for live. What's great about this keyboard is that it's super light, and it's got pretty much the same engine as the much more expensive Montage. This is a keyboard that's for, I think, more the gigging musician, because it has all the bread and butter sounds. I have developed all my sounds on this unit, and I'm gonna play through a few of them. I can add reverb. I've programmed it to be on this wheel. See? Claudio Rhodes goes like this. Or when you're playing live and you want to change the sound and adapt to the situation, a highly programmable and, you know, big screen synthesizer like this will help a lot. Vintage case, what have we got here? I've got my padded piano, I think, here. See what I mean? And then you also have this big knob here, so I can play the piano alone, but then add the beautiful piano pad, you know what I mean? But it's also capable of very believable analog sounds like this. Actually, the one that I'm really using a lot lately is this one. And of course, you know, vibraphones. As well, I've got my samples. This is my 909. My 909. But also, you know, my favorite samples. This is when I want to fake percussion.
Vamos pa'l monte. Yo quiero más.
You know, and also reggaeton. Because this, of course, can take samples and all of that. This is a very good choice if you are a gigging musician and you really need the bread and butter sounds. Next! At £2,500 roughly, depending on which version you want. This one is 5 octaves, 61. You can get the bigger one, which is like 88 weighted keyboards, which is, you know, monumental. And this is a flagship synthesizer. It's so powerful. It's got a 4-core CPU. It's got professional line inputs, great preamps as well. It's got connectivity of all kinds, 4 USB ports, MIDI, balanced outputs. I mean, this is a keyboard for the professional touring musician, or for the very serious enthusiast, and for people who can actually buy this thing. One thing that you can appreciate, going from sound to sound, it doesn't interrupt. Things like this make a synthesizer really, really powerful. I've got also some pads here. Oh, this was me being silly earlier. So, in fact, there is a whole video about this synthesizer. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. In fact, I have videos for most of the synthesizers that you have seen today. This one I didn't have for too long, so I didn't have time to really dig super deep into it. I have started building my own sounds, and it's like ridiculous. You know, the sound engine, it's so powerful, it's scary. But you know, these are the typical flagship synthesizers. Yamaha makes the Montage, Korg makes its own. So if you are in that mood and you have that kind of money, yeah, this is like the dream. The dream, yeah? It's got analog filters, and you can choose which one you want to use. You can even pass sounds through the filter. It's like... It's a Roland Fantom, baby. Next, before I go, I am going to show you... Come here, my little object of art. I am going to show you some vintage synthesizers. Now, this synth, it's Minimoog. You've seen it many times on my channel. This is a vintage 1974. Sounds massive. It's ridiculous. You know what? Let me point that camera to it. You know, synthesizers like this can cost up to £4,000, £5,000, £6,000, depending on their state. These are collector's items. Of course, I am lucky that I get to play these babies, and that I can buy them. So I know these are really highly coveted pieces of gear. What can I say? I would buy all the synthesizers on the planet if I could, because I am really fixated. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe to this channel, give Skillshare a click, because it's a great service and it helps this channel. It makes me love you even more, if that's ever possible. Dr. Mix. Next, you want to watch this video.